Hi Sagittarius, this is Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana, and it is snowing today. We are supposed to have 5 to 8 inches of snow. I love a good snow day. And it looks to be half of the United States is getting it too, so maybe you're at home getting ready to watch me. How many cards here are wanting to come out? I want that one for sure. So anyway, I am a Libra Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon. And if you've been here before, welcome back. You know how I do this. I normally pull out 4, 5, 6, however many want to come out, tarot cards, figure out what kind of energy are we looking at, life, health, love, career, whatever. And then clarify with various oracle cards that I have. So let's see what we've got going here. The one card that fell out already is the 5 of Swords in reverse. So whatever you have been stuck thinking about, you must be becoming unstuck. You either have just made some realizations or you are about to make some serious realizations. So let's see what you're making those realizations on. Let's take that one. You are looking at things from a different perspective. So, if you have been looking at certain things as blocks or fears, as problems or whatever, I think what I am feeling is that you are now looking at those as things that are coming up to be healed so you can move forward and get out of the struggle. So since I'm a Sagittarius moon, I can totally relate to that. Because a couple of weeks ago, I had some major financial blocks that came up. And I was hearing my mother's voice in my head. And I mean, it was not a good one. And it was really stressing me out bad. And so what it managed to do, well, there's another one. All right, we have enough there. So what it managed to do is make me take a really hard look at these money blocks that I have had crop up again. And started watching some stuff on YouTube the other day and realized that I do have both my mother and my father's voice when it comes to that in my head. Excuse me. My dad, I feel, was a manifester. He always had money. He was always he always had it in his pocket and he could always come up with it. And my mom was always feeling like we were in struggle and lack and we didn't have enough money. And she was always complaining about my dad spending every dime we had. And I feel that push-pull inside of me. One day I feel like I have got everything made and I can do anything and conquer the world. And the next day I have my mother's voice in my head saying, don't spend that. You're going to spend every dime you have. You're going to go broke again or whatever it was. And that has been a real struggle for me the last week or week and a half. And so I have started consciously working on getting rid of those money blocks because I have got to get her out of my head. I can't have her voice in my head if I'm going to accomplish the stuff that I want to accomplish. And so I think that's the lesson that I am learning. And I feel like that's kind of how this is coming off at the moment. So the 2 of Pentacles is in upright, which makes me think you're juggling money. And maybe that is the feeling you're having. You're trying to release those feelings of the juggling money and the back and forth stuff and everything, and the World in reverse, which would be a destiny card, which makes me think that this is coming up for a reason to be healed. And then the Death card came up, and so it's the end of something. And if it is the end of negative thinking, so you can move forward with this and never look back at it again, that's going to be a great accomplishment. And the Knight of Cups in reverse, which is not quite able to speak emotions about it. Maybe it's something that, what do emotions? You haven't quite figured out how to control the emotions around that. You've made the realization that it's a problem. You want to end it. You want to move forward. You want to change this, but you haven't quite come to getting the emotion out of it and just looking at it as, this is a block and this is what I got to do to clear it. This is a block. This is what I got to do to clear it. This is a block. This is what I got to do to clear it. And so your emotions are coming into the picture, and that might be why you have up and down days, good day, bad day, good day, bad day. And it's because your emotions are still affecting you. But if you can look at it from the perspective of, okay, so this is a problem and this is what I got to do to fix it without any emotion in it. This is a problem and this is what I got to do to fix that. This is a problem and this is what I got to do to fix that. I think that will help with the mood swings that maybe you're having if you are struggling with, that up and down, and just like that feeling I get with one day I have a good day and I think I can conquer the world, and one day I'm, having those negative thoughts of like, oh my God, I'm going to screw this all up and blah, blah, blah. So, Sagittarius doesn't usually match up with what's going on with me, but this so far looks to be matching up with what's going on in my life, interestingly enough. So, okay, let's see what kind of blocks Sagittarius has, that if they can keep the emotion out and they can look at it as, this is one more thing that I need to conquer to get to happiness, or one more thing that I need to conquer to get out of struggle and get where I'm going, then this is the stuff we're looking at. What kind of blocks are we looking at that we need to dissolve in whatever way we need to do that? I was watching a gal, Christy Marie Sheldon, on YouTube, and I had something that showed up on Instagram the other day. She's got something, actually, it's coming up at noon today, and I've been watching her on YouTube, and I would love to be able to do what she does. She's intuitive. She can look at a person and she can see the blocks that somebody has. And she can just like, you've got this, and it came from when you were 5 years old, when your parents said this, and blah, 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 and we're going to erase that out of whatever. And if I could learn how to do that, I would be very happy. All right. So the first one that came up is union. And I feel like that probably is a block, because maybe you want to be in union with somebody and you're not. And for some reason, you're thinking not being with a person is a problem. And you think that being with a person is going to make you happier. But the fact is, you need to get your shit straight first, and then you'll be able to come into union. Or you need to get into union with yourself. And this whole getting these blocks out of the way is coming into union, or finding yourself as a whole person and not lacking, if that makes any sense. All right, what other blocks are the Sagittarius? There's one. The answer is no. What is the answer no to? The answer is no. No. The answer is no. You do not have to do this by yourself. There are people out there that can help you break through these blocks. You just have to define what the blocks are first, figure out what holds you back, find people that can help you. So no, you don't have to do this by yourself. There are, like I said, Christy Marie Sheldon is someone that can help with stuff like that. There are some amazing people out there that have figured out how to clear blocks. I am good at finding the blocks. I haven't quite figured out how to clear all of them just yet. Maybe that will be my next thing that crops up for me. Soulmate came up again. I feel like in that case, there are, let me think about that. There are some past people in your life that maybe you need to forgive. A soulmate from the past that you need to forgive, that has got some crustiness on your heart. So maybe that's one thing that needs to be forgiven. Or if you have a soulmate in your life that could help you, that could be one of the ones that you don't have to do it by yourself. There's a soulmate that you are surrounded by that can help you break through these blocks. Or if you have a soulmate that you are supposed to be with currently, maybe that soulmate is the person that you are supposed to come together with, and you guys help each other get rid of each other's blocks. Maybe you've done everything that you can do on your own, and now it's time for you to get with that person so you can help heal each other. I don't know. Take that for whatever resonates. Oh, here's a block. Inner child. And this is interesting. I had a vision the other night about a friend of mine, and I saw him getting in trouble when he was little, 7 or 8, and he was being shaken by an older man who was like really mad, going, "Don't lie to me, don't lie to me." And he was crying and saying, "I'm not lying, I'm not lying." And when I talked to him about it, he was like, "This doesn't really mean anything to me. I don't remember anything like that." And I said, I feel like you got in trouble for something that you didn't do, or you were being blamed for something. And he goes, "Well, me and my brother had a pact, and if we ever got in trouble," he goes, "I would take the whipping and take the blame whether I did it or not." And I said, well, maybe the message here is to quit taking the blame for stuff, and that it's been to your detriment. So I felt like that was somebody from his higher self or whatever sending a message to him saying that was a kind of an inner child type thing that he needed to work on. And he said that he wasn't ever going to rat anybody out. And if that was a lesson he needed to learn, he was just going to have to leave that one on the table. And I was like, all right, I'm just the messenger. So whatever, if somebody does try to help you out and help you fix these blocks that you have, be open to listening to what they have so you can move forward through them quicker and get to the other side. And don't be so stubborn and try to think you have to fix everything on your own. Okay, what other blocks is Sagittarius working with or dealing with or needs to bring up and resolve, dissolve, transmute? That one must have come out. Signs. Okay. Let me think. If that's a block? Well, I feel like, okay, so I feel like you've been getting signs. The universe is telling you what you need to do, and perhaps you are ignoring it. Like my friend the other day, I said, I feel like this is a message, and he chose to ignore it. So maybe you have been getting signs all along, and you have chosen to ignore it, thinking that either one, that's not a sign, and thinking that just would never happen. You wouldn't get signs that obvious telling you what you need to do or let go of or whatever. Or maybe you're just that stubborn like he is, saying, I'm not going to change my way, even whatever. So maybe you have been getting signs and you just need to start paying attention to them. Oh, too many coming out. There was a conclusion that popped out there too. And lessons. Come on, that was funny. So apparently, yeah, there are lessons being learned right now. There's a reason some of this stuff is popping up in your face. And if you're still having the same stuff popping up, it's because you are not looking at it fully, trying to figure out what lesson you are to learn so you can just dissolve it. So I think what would be good is if there's any way that you can like almost write out, I'm trying to think how to say this, write out or figure out what exactly your blocks are. I don't have this, or this is a problem, or this is a problem, or this is a problem, and figure out what they are and work with them one thing at a time. Because I feel like, we're always getting messages of things, and we like to ignore them a lot of times, they always say that we're down here to learn lessons, and we get those lessons repeated several times until we finally get the message, and then we don't ever have to live that lesson again. So I feel like there's some stuff that you are going through right now that has been brought to your attention before, and you were like, either you didn't know that you were in the middle of a lesson and you didn't study and pass the test, or you tried and maybe you got 75% of it right, and now they're just bringing it back up to finish the last 25%. I feel like that's part of my money issue stuff. I got a lot of that cleared out several years ago, but I apparently didn't get all of it cleaned out. Otherwise, it wouldn't be cropping up again. So I'm hoping this time the last little bit of stuff that's coming up for me is going to get dissolved and transmuted or whatever. So let's see what other words of advice that the universe has for you right now about bringing this stuff up, healing it so you don't have to go back through it again. What advice do you have for Sagittarius to get through these issues, bring them up, transmute, dissolve, help them move through it quicker, easier, less painful? And the one thing that I keep hearing is keep the emotion out of it. Keep the emotion out of it. And I think that if you can keep the emotion out of it and just look at it like, this is a problem. What do I need to do to make this problem go away? Instead of crying about it. And this is a problem, and boo-hoo, poor me, I'm the victim, or whatever. And I'm not saying everybody's doing that. I'm just throwing stuff out there so they're like, if you feel like you were the victim of anything, if you believe you have been a victim of anything, that is a block right there that you need to bring up and look at and clear. Because nobody is a victim. We all bring stuff to ourselves by law of attraction. So that was brought up to you for a reason. So you need to look at that. What could that have been about? And I'm talking about if it happened to you when you were 5 years old. What was that brought up for me to learn? And man, you could go deep there with things that happened to you when you were a kid. It could be anywhere from your parents getting a divorce, to losing a parent to death, to being sexually abused. Any kind of things that happened to you when you were a kid, being brought to you, your soul being brought to you for a learning lesson. And if you're still dealing with that now, years later, it's because you haven't looked at it from the perspective of, this was a lesson that I needed to learn. What lesson did I need to learn? And think of it that way, instead of having emotion attached around it and whatever. So, all right. Any other advice? Well, okay, there's some. Truth. I feel like that's what this whole reading is about, is looking at it from the truth perspective and taking the mask off and just figuring out what the problem is and going, all right, I got to get rid of this. I've got to get this out of my life so I can move forward and never look back. And it is a transformation. You are transforming from a 3D person, someone who does get caught up in the drama of life, and you are transforming into a more spiritual person who doesn't have drama in their life, who looks at things that happen to them as lessons, and instead of victim mentality. That's the 3D world. Spiritual world looks at it as soul lessons. So it's just looking at things from a different perspective and being able to go, okay, we're going to get that out of here. We're going to get that out of here. I feel like I'm lecturing. Don't be mad at the messenger is what I'm saying. Animal kingdom, I always look at that and think you need to step into your power. Step into your 5D power, your spiritual power. The person or soul being that you came down here to be. And quit feeling sorry for yourself. And be the person that your soul came down here to be. Be the guide for other people. Do what you need to do to step into your power, to be the light worker that you came down here to be. And if you're still feeling pity and sorry for yourself and you're a victim, you're not helping anybody. I mean, you can't even help yourself. And there's a lot of other people down here that need to be helped. And I believe that's why we are all down here. I believe that's one of the reasons I went through. You know, and even now I look at it and I'm like, I haven't been through that much. I haven't been through near as much stuff as a lot of people have been through. But I've been through a whole lot of different things and overcome a lot of those. So it's made me able to have those discussions with people from a rational point. And anyway, I'm sorry, I'm babbling. Purification. Okay. And that makes total sense with this too. You're in the process of purifying your soul and getting rid of the crap and purifying it to 100% light. So again, if you look at it from that perspective, if you are a body of light and you have some dark spots in that soul, then you look at it and you go, shh, I got to erase that. Shh, erase that. Shh, erase that. So purifying your soul to be 100% light. That's what you're working on right now. And you're not going to stop working on that ever, I don't think, until you die. And then you won't ever have to worry about it again, hopefully. So anyway, that's about all I have to say. I look forward to hearing from you guys. I'm always open to constructive criticism. And I'm working on some stuff for Valentine's Day for those of you who end up being alone on Valentine's Day, especially those of you who don't want to be at home alone on Valentine's Day. So keep an eye out for those. I'll be posting those a couple days beforehand. And I will see you guys the beginning of February. Thanks. Bye.